Okay, guys, I just want to go over the new student evaluation forms. They've finally been updated, and I know they've been messed up for about 5 days. Apologize for that. But I'll go through some of the things that have changed just so you have idea of what we're trying to do here. So I have a test form in here, test student, just to see how this works. So just like you normally would, you're going to process your lesson, and you'll go down here and you'll select your evaluation, in-car lesson, and then right from the get-go you'll see there are a few things that are new here. So lesson number, so this is just the lesson number that we're on, 1, 2, 3, 4, the DMV test, or if you're doing more than 4 lessons it would be an other. So you're just going to click whatever lesson you're on. And the next thing, enter permit info or check if accurate. We want to make sure every time, every lesson that we're going through, looking at the student's permit and making sure all the information is accurate. To do this, all we need to do is scroll up, go to info, and check the permit number and the expiration date. So if you look here, the permit number looks good, expiration dates look good, and of course if there is a problem with it, just click edit, go to number, and go ahead and change the number, whatever it is, to make sure everything looks good. And then once you're done with that, you're just going to update. And now the correct information is in there. Because we had to make an adjustment, I'm just going to go ahead and check entered permit information. If everything looked good, then we would just go ahead and check accurate. We'll do that every lesson. The rest of the stuff is going to look really familiar: controls, blind spots, steering, turning, accelerating, right turn on red, traffic check. Traffic check's new. All this is whenever we're going through any intersection, whether it's an uncontrolled intersection, controlled intersection, stop signs, yields, traffic signal lights, whatever it is, we just want to make sure that our students are looking left, right, left, making sure that everything's safe as we go through an intersection, or if we're turning at an intersection. These are just our standard traffic checks. Okay, so if everything looked good, we're just going to do completed, just like we do on all of our items here. The next one down is clear intersections. We want to make sure the students are clearing their intersections when their light turns green. So this is specific for traffic signal lights. They're stopped at a red light, light turns green. We want to make sure they're looking left, right, left before they go. All right, so that looks good. And then unprotected left turns, we cover that, that's good. Stop signs, U-turns, lane changes, right of way, sign signal marking, that all looks good. One of the things we have here now is we have a little extra space between when we move basically from our lesson 1 material down to our lesson 2 material. It just helps it make it a little bit visually easier. If we're starting lesson 2, we know where to go. So freeway merging, smoothness, shoulder recovery is new. What we want to do is we want to make sure the students don't panic or overcorrect when they drift off a shoulder of a highway. So what you're going to do is you'll get them out there on the freeway, get them over to the right lane, and just drift the car over onto the rumble strips. Let them feel the rumble strips, let them know that they're harmless, they make noise and vibrate, but it's really irrelevant. And let them know to grip that steering wheel firmly and softly bring the vehicle back into the traffic lane. Do that a couple times, once or twice, and then have the student do it. Bring the car over on the shoulder for them, and then when they feel the rumble strips, have them softly bring that steering wheel back, or grip that steering wheel firmly and bring the car softly back into the traffic lane. Following distance, speed, judgment, lane positioning, distracted driving. So we added this just so that we cover distracted driving. Let's make sure the students know the dangers. Some instructors will do that thing where you cover their eyes for 4 seconds, which that's about how long an average text makes, which is sort of terrifying for the student. Obviously, we're holding the steering wheel when we do that, but lets them know like how crazy it is to take your eyes off the road for 4 seconds. But as we've all seen, students do that all the time. And when they are texting and driving, when people are texting and driving, they're 23 times more likely to be involved in a motor vehicle collision or incident. So it's something we probably all do, but I just added it to the checklist. Exiting off ramps, make sure they're maintaining their speed and slowing down when they get on the off ramp. Emergency breakdowns, we all cover that when we do our freeway lesson. and roundabouts. Center left turn lanes, this is new. We just want to make sure we go through. A good place to talk about it is when you're headed toward the freeway on Munris. There's a pretty good center left turn lane down Munris, but they're all over the place. And what we're looking for there is that the students know that it's for left turns, like into private property, or if you're coming out of private property, left turns. It goes in both directions, so it's a two-way center left turn lane. You can be in that lane for 200 feet. Once you're in that lane, you gotta complete the turn intended. Pedestrians, done that. One-way streets, left turn on red. So I added left turns on red. This is something I do generally in lesson 3 down here. And what it is I like to go into downtown Monterey and do it. There's a lot of one-way streets to one-way streets. So we want to make sure the students know that they can turn left. If they're on a one-way street, turn left onto another one-way street. We want to make sure that there's no red arrow or sign that prohibits a turn. If there's not, they can make that left turn. So left turns on reds, hazards, and SIPD, search, identify, predict, decide, and execute. This is just to make sure that they're constantly scanning, looking for potential hazards out there. The doghouse, the column lights, these are our traffic signal lights that are I call them hybrid lights. They're both protected and unprotected during different phases of the light. The doghouse style, those are the ones where there are 5 traffic lights. There's one on the top center, and then that's your red light, and then on the left, there are 2 arrow lights, and on the right, 2 circle lights. It's sort of in the shape of a doghouse, so that's why they call them doghouse lights. And and then we have the column lights. So those are the ones where you have 5 lights in a column. So I have your red, yellow, green, and then the yellow arrow, green arrow. But the biggest thing there is, of course, we want to make sure they know that the difference between when it's protected phase and when it's the unprotected phase of the light. The difference between the doghouse and the column. Generally, your doghouse, you're going to have a dedicated left turn lane. So a dedicated lane versus the column lights. Because if you have a dedicated left turn lane, you might have a situation where you have a red circle light and you have the green arrow. I know I spent a little bit more time on this than most instructors, but I like to show the students the difference between that and then the stacked or the column lights, where you're generally not going to have a red light with a green arrow, especially when you're turning left. All right, and then 3-point turns, blind intersections, hill starting and stopping, turn lane positioning, that's just normal stuff. Make sure they're over to the right when they're making a right turn. Right turn with the bicycle lane. So now we're down here in lesson 4. And I always go over that because that's something they might have to demonstrate on their DMV test. They got to know to make sure that there's nobody in the bike lane, and then signal mirror blind spot, pull into the bicycle lane. They can pull in the bicycle lane for the last 200 feet before they turn. Also in the last lesson, I always review the right turns on reds. Right turns on reds are really something that get a lot of students on the DMV test. Probably the number one thing that gets students. And I just like to go over the sort of the 5 or so things that get students. We want to make sure as they approach that intersection, they stop at or before the limit line or the crosswalk. They look up, make sure there's no red arrow or sign that prohibits a turn. If not, they're going to look to the left. If they look to the left and they see that the road is sort of angled back, a good example of that is when you exit the DMV parking lot and turn right, and then you're going to turn right onto 218. It angles back. You don't have a really good view. Just have the students sit there and wait till your light turns green. You get your green arrow, then to go. But if the road is straight, they don't have a good view, then they can pull forward as long as there's no pedestrians in the crosswalk. Pull forward in the crosswalk, stop, and make sure it's clear to the left. As they're looking to the left, if the vehicles to the left start to come to a stop, a lot of students think like, oh, now I can go. But the one thing we want to make sure they do before they go is look across the street for the protected left turns on the other side of the street. Make sure there are no cars that have started that protected left turn. If the car started a protected left turn and they start their right turn at the same time, that's going to be a fail on the DMV test. And then the last thing is before they make that right turn, sometimes the light's going to turn green right as they begin that right turn. They got to make sure that there are no pedestrians there in the crosswalk. So that's one of the things that we want to go over on their last lesson. Now, parallel parking, and I know a lot of you guys do that in different lessons. I generally do it in my last lesson if I have enough time. So that's down there. Angle parking, curb to and away, make sure their signal mirror blind spot whenever they're pulling away, like after they finish their backing along the curb. And then the checklist, we're going to go through that checklist with all the students, make sure they understand each of the items on there and what they're going to have to do during the DMV drive test. We want them to practice that. I mean, really, that's the first impression the examiner is going to have of the student. So if they have that stuff down, it leaves a really good first impression. Some of you guys do practice tests. I just sort of review, go over everything that's going to be on the test, make sure they have all that stuff down. But that's this one here. And then this new one here at the end, lesson 4 gold form. As you guys know, and I know you guys do a pretty good job of this, we want to make sure that every time we're on a lesson 4, we issue that gold form, that we enter the gold form in the student profile. So you would just scroll back up, edit the student, and enter their gold certificate number into their profile, and then update and save. And then the rating here, I moved it down to the bottom. It was at the top, and this is just a quick view of like, all right, this is how the student did, and our parent, did we talk to a parent, that sort of thing. And that's it. We put in our private comments and then complete the lesson without an email. One other thing I want to go over real quick is the, I know for the last 5 days or so, the forms have been all messed up. If you want to go back and clean up some of those forms, no big deal. Just go back to your home page, and to edit a form that you've already processed, you don't go to the student. What you actually do is you go up here to the upcoming schedule, click on view, and view all. When you click on view all, you can filter this. You can look at your lessons over the last 2 weeks or whatever, or the next 2 weeks, whatever, and then you can filter these. And in today's, and what I do is I just have here for today, I have a couple tests that I did, test forms. So let's say I want to go through and edit one of the forms. Just click on that lesson, click process, and you'll see that the form will pop back up with all the data and everything that you already put in. And then you can make those adjustments as need be. And then you go back down and save that information, and the updated form gets saved. All right, guys, thanks for everything. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. Take care.